In 1992, there was a nationwide uprising in the Philippines, where hundreds of thousands of people armed themselves and surrounded the headquarters of PepsiCo. Several executives were forced to resign, and there were even reports of injuries and fatalities. 37 Pepsi Cola delivery trucks were overturned. Pepsi Cola, which was once widely known and loved in the Philippines, suddenly became the target of public outrage overnight. What exactly happened? In February 1992, Pepsi Cola launched a massive Chinese New Year marketing campaign in the Philippines. They held a grand lottery where every bottle cap from their beverages was stamped with a 3-digit number from 001 to 999. Over the next 3 months, every night on television, they announced a winning number. The grand prize, which was the highest amount, was set to be announced on May 25th. It was an enormous sum, 1 million pesos, roughly equivalent to $40,000 at the time. This was a life-changing amount in a country where the average income was only about $1,000. People with savings withdrew them, and those without tightened their belts to buy at least one bottle every day. Some even sifted through garbage dumps to find caps with winning numbers. The entire country seemed to go mad for these bottle caps. Pepsi Cola's monthly sales skyrocketed from $10 million to $14 million, and its market share surged from 19.4% to 24.9%. All this cost Pepsi Cola only tens of thousands of dollars. Pepsi Cola used state-of-the-art computer systems to manage the entire process. Initially, they set the grand prize of $40,000 to be won by only 2 caps in the entire Philippines. On the evening of May 25th at 6 p.m., the streets of the Philippines were deserted as everyone gathered around their TVs. The news anchor on Channel 2 announced the winning number for the $40,000 prize, 349. The nation erupted in applause, and celebrations broke out in 8 out of every 10 households on the streets. But soon, everyone realized something was amiss. Everyone seemed to have the winning number, 349. Meanwhile, on the other side, Pepsi executives were already celebrating, brainstorming for their upcoming summer marketing campaigns in high spirits. However, the next day, their hangover was harsh as they found crowds gathered outside Pepsi offices. The executives learned that not just a few, but thousands had the winning number, 349. Over 8,000 claims were made just at the company's doorstep. Panic set in as they calculated the total. Over $320 million in liabilities just from the 349 winners. Pepsi quickly locked their doors, launching investigations into what had gone wrong. It was soon discovered that both the computer program and the printing press had errors. The number 349 was mistakenly printed on at least 800,000 caps, instead of being rare as intended. With each cap worth $40,000, the total liability soared to an astronomical $320 billion. This was a sum that not even PepsiCo's global headquarters could cover. The PR team stepped in next, and they were direct. They addressed the massive crowd outside the Pepsi offices and announced that 349 was an incorrect number. The real winning number, they said, was 134. They told everyone that they hadn't actually won anything and should go home. However, this only exacerbated the situation. More people gathered, holding even more winning caps. Some began hitting the walls and buildings with sticks and stones, overpowering security guards. They were on the verge of storming into the conference rooms to seize the executives. Suddenly, the PR team improvised again, declaring a temporary solution. They announced that they would pay everyone. The crowd stopped their agitation momentarily, but when they were told the decision was to distribute $8.7 million among the 80,000 winners, anger flared up even more. Calculating it out, each person would only receive a paltry sum of about $10. This enraged the crowd further, feeling deceived. The situation escalated dangerously. The PR team clarified that actually, the $8.7 million would only go to the first 480,000 people who came forward, amounting to about $18 each. This failed to pacify the furious Filipinos, especially considering the country's loose gun laws at the time, allowing individuals to legally own up to 15 firearms. The thought of 800,000 enraged people was unthinkable. As a result, angry mobs took to the streets, burning hundreds of cars and causing chaos. Only with the strong intervention of the Philippine police was PepsiCo able to secure its premises, temporarily quelling the riot. But for the prospect of that life-changing $40,000, the people of the Philippines were not willing to let things slide. At this point, a missionary named Father Del Fierro rallied the crowd, proposing the formation of the 349 Alliance to sue PepsiCo. and reclaim justice, and more importantly, the $40,000. On the other side, PepsiCo vowed to defend its assets vigorously, hiring top-notch legal teams to deal with the winners. The legal battle dragged on for over a year. In 1993, the situation took a turn when some tabloids alleged that PepsiCo had orchestrated the burning of their own vehicles and planted agitators in the crowd to undermine the 349 Alliance from within. Upon hearing this, PepsiCo's lawyers immediately denied the allegations. However, shortly after, 9 PepsiCo executives were arrested. The police had evidence and court approval for their involvement in instigating chaos. However, the 349 Alliance was not without its own controversies. To have Father Del Fiero represent them in the fight for compensation, members had to pay hefty membership fees. Only after paying these fees were they considered part of the alliance. Father Del Fiero then flew to New York and demanded a staggering $400 million in compensation, along with $10 million for emotional distress. This demand was deemed excessive by the New York court, which rejected the case on 2 grounds. It was outside its jurisdiction, and Father Del Fiero could not represent all winners as a third party. The Philippine courts struggled with the massive workload, finally closing the case in 2006, ruling that PepsiCo had no obligation to pay the prizes and would not entertain further related cases. After 14 years, PepsiCo emerged victorious. The 349 Alliance disintegrated, but PepsiCo paid dearly, over $20 million in legal fees, and lost credibility in the Philippine market. To this day, when Pepsi Cola is mentioned in the Philippines, many recall this incident, criticizing the company for its dishonesty and broken promises. All right, that's the end of today's story. See you next time.